And a reminder, we have live and exclusive coverage of the Champions League final from Istanbul. Join Trevor Lynam and the gang for coverage from 7 o'clock next Saturday. The glitz and glamour of Monaco welcomes the drama of Formula One. The Monaco Grand Prix. Can Lewis Hamilton extend his lead in the championship as he goes for an historic Super 7? Join us on Trevor Sports for the full race live. That's the Monaco Grand Prix here on Trevor Sports. And now on Trevor One, live and uninterrupted coverage of the FA Cup final. It's Grandstand.
Brilliant cross and a header to back by Rashford. And under Bonnet, oh what a goal! A kid on the way! They nearly won it a kick ago and they're out with that kick! Fernandez, oh what a goal! Can Tottenham equalise? They can! Tottenham are in the FA Cup final!
You are looking at live pictures of Wembley Stadium. It's empty now, but in about 45 minutes it'll be full to capacity. And in about an hour and 40 minutes time, either Harry Maguire or Hugo Lloris will be lifting that famous trophy. It's the 139th FA Cup final, and it's live and uninterrupted this afternoon on Grandstand. Good afternoon. Were you expecting somebody else? Well, don't worry, it's the same old action that you've accustomed to on Trevor Sports. We've just given ourselves a new digital look, dare we say it as well. Wish they hadn't had so much grey, to be honest. This is the FA Cup final. It's always the spectacle and the highlight of the footballing season here in the English calendar, and today's no exception. And here on Grandstand, we've got a cracking lineup and of what should be a fantastic game. So we shall start Cup Final Grandstand with a review of the third round, and then we've got a view and a report of both the managers involved in today's Cup Final before we go ahead and show you some great highlights from the fourth round. Then we'll go to our match commentator, Trevor Motson, and get his views on the game. We've got more action as we review the fifth round, that Wednesday night shootout, and then hopefully by about then we'll be able to bring you the team news. Then we'll bring you the sixth round review. We've got an in-depth analysis on Manchester United, and then we've got a semi-final review, and then we'll bring you an in-depth analysis on Tottenham Hotspur before Abide With Me and the national anthem and all the pre-match pomp and circumstance before bringing you the FA Cup final live and uninterrupted this afternoon here on Trevor Sports. Well, lots to bring you on a packed afternoon, and it promises to be a fabulous game, and obviously it's live and exclusive here on Trevor Sports. But in order to go forward, we've got to take a look at the past, and it's amazing to think that this journey all started the first Saturday in January. The FA Cup, amazing to think, started back in January, and we were there to bring you the action in West Brom as the Albion took on Chelsea. Game in which the team from West London had to be patient, did eventually manage to get the breakthrough. From hanging on here, and they are hanging on. This is Pedro, getting across as he can, and Kovacic can score. That's 1-0, and that is the breakthrough that Chelsea were after, but it'll break West Brom hearts. At Ellen Road, Leicester City were producing the goods, and James Maddison scored an absolutely spectacular overhead kick as they ran out 2-0 winners. Manchester United travelled to West London where they played Queen's Park Rangers. Marcus Rashford's header sealed off another victory. Premier League 2, Championship 0. Delight for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Arsenal left it late, but eventually Granit Xhaka's wonder strike helped them beat Nottingham Forest. A goal which proved the gap between the two divisions and the delight of their new manager. But the goal of the round beyond to Dele Alli and Tottenham Hotspur, whose wonderful strike against Barnsley got things going for today's finalists. Harry Kane was on the score sheet again, and Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Revolution was up and running. They were into the fourth round. Manchester City in the All-Premier League tie produced one of the goals, passing moves of the day as they ran out winners against Southampton at St Mary's. And Liverpool were up to their old tricks, winning again, the Premier League champions marching into the fourth round. But one of the games of the round was the Cotton Mill derby between Blackburn Rovers and Burnley. We were live to bring all the action and a frenetic start to this game. Let's cross in, this is Nyambe, that's a penalty! Oh, Chris Wood's challenge is deemed to be illegal. 8 minutes into the game. What an opportunity to break the opening scoring. This is Graham. That's 1-0. I've seldom heard Ewood Park like this for a long, long time. And Blackburn do this. This is Holby. That's a fantastic effort that's off the post, and that's it now. Stuart Downing has scored. Blackburn Rovers of the Championship have beaten Burnley of the Premier League, and they're in the fourth round. Well, there are so many stories to comprehend with today's game, and none more so than the managers. Indeed, just 18 months ago, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer replaced Jose Mourinho, and Jose Mourinho himself was took over Tottenham just 6 months ago. Trevor Lynam reports on the tale of the two managers. The managers more than ever will be feeling the challenge of this year's FA Cup final, none more than Jose Mourinho, attempting to win Spurs' major trophy for the first time in 12 years. And thanks to some documentary filming, we were getting an insight of how Mourinho and the players have been relaxing ahead of the big game. Confidence there from the special one, hoping that his Tottenham side tonight can produce the goods and can win themselves a major trophy. Press conferences, as always, Jose Mourinho wasn't giving anything away. Tottenham's defiance in the FA Cup has proved to be what has endeared them to the public and to Mourinho. He's seen his side overcome 2 certain defeats in the quarter-final and semi-finals of this tournament, and hopes maybe that they can start a little stronger and get themselves a result which they just and duly deserve. And that's what Jose Mourinho is focused on. He talks a lot about playing football the right way. Whether he can exploit Manchester United's midweek fatigue remains to be seen. Mourinho's stoutness was in great contrast to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's buoyancy. The Manchester United manager very pleased with his season and a trophy already to his name, winners of the Europa League in midweek, and no question of exhaustion or fatigue affecting his players. They'll be go out and run, and he definitely wants to be a double winner. And while Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has his hands on a trophy, Jose Mourinho's task is finally to get Spurs a trophy after 12 long years. Well, head-to-head this season in their first meeting in December, Manchester United ran out winners, and meeting in March, we'd rather not forget about that, and hopefully we'll see none of that today. Premier League record is interesting, very dominant. It very much reflects Manchester United's dominance, but Spurs have had much more of the results more favourable in their time. Last time these two sides met in the FA Cup was a 2-1 win to Manchester United in the semi-final 2 years ago. So we talked about Manchester United winning a trophy. Indeed, they won the Europa League. That game was this Wednesday, and highlights and commentary brought to you by Trevor Davis. Here is Spinazzola, and he runs into Paul Pogba, does get a ball back in. Dzeko has hit the woodwork. Martial, Bruno Fernandes, Martial, Rashford, who gets through and got a ball over the top for Jesse Lingard up against Koloff. It's Lingard, it's 1-0! And he does it again in the cup final. Jesse Lingard, the man for the big occasion for Manchester United. towards Martial, was headed off the line by Diawara. Uday has also come on in that position, hence maybe why the change has been made. Dzeko, edge of the area, he's dangerous, he's very dangerous, he's hit the woodwork again, just incredible. Pogba to take the corner, 12 minutes to go, United have 4 in the box. Pogba. Andres Pereira! And is that the goal that sends Manchester United back to the Champions League and be contenders again? But they're back. Harry Maguire lifts the Europa League and Manchester United have their hands on the European trophy again. That was, of course, Manchester United are confirmed they'll be in the Champions League next season, so expect to see more of them on our Champions League coverage next season. Now it's time for a review of the 4th round that took place at the end of January. The 4th round of the FA Cup kicked off with a Friday night feast of football as Aston Villa hosted the defending champions. This is Mahrez, De Bruyne. Oh yes, magnificent. Raheem Sterling. Performance to get themselves back in the match. Jack Grealish's cross and Wesley's got it. Aston Villa are level. It's come from nothing. David Silva, the Manchester City captain, floated into the area. Heaton punches it, didn't get all of it. Headed back in by Fabinho. Rodri! Oh, he's won it! He's won it now! After heartbreak for Aston Villa, it was Arsenal that put it all to bed with 3-0 winners at Hillsborough. Lacazette pouncing on a hat-trick and Arsenal setting their credentials. Leicester City ran out comfortable winners against fellow Premier League Bournemouth. Yuri Tielemans was the star of the show with 2 stunning strikes as the player of the round, and Leicester City grew in stature in the tournament. Tottenham with a workmanlike performance in the London derby, they were able to beat Fulham 2-0 with Harry Kane on the score sheet again. His lethal finishing could prove important. Liverpool were 1-0 winners thanks to Joel Matip's header and an unimpressive victory against Swansea. And live on Match Today, Manchester United ran out 2-0 winners, Marcus Rashford tapping home the 3rd goal and Andreas Pereira with an unlikely headed goal. But it took a replay for Chelsea to get past the impressive Wolves and an excellent goal by Christian Pulisic. Run at the Wolves defence and he's made a good run, mind you. Now can he make a good cross into the box? Oh, what a header that is! Christian Pulisic! Some very good goals there. Now, just to let you know that the doors have opened, the fans are making their way in and the atmosphere is building very nicely. Time to have a quick word with the man behind the microphone. Trevor Motson will be commentating today on his very first FA Cup final for Trevor Sports, and we're going to ask him that big question. Trevor, who do you think is going to win today?
I don't know, Trevor, to be quite honest, but what I would hope is a great final. But if I was to pick a winner, and I'm as the commentator, I don't want to upset the other team, but you can't back against Spurs the way they played the game. I mean, they came back from 2-0 down against City in a game that we both covered and came back to win. But then again, Manchester United, a good side, good pedigree, just won the Europa League, full of confidence. I think this could be, I think this could to and fro. But what I will say is, I think we could have extra time here today. I think both teams, no quarter given. But if you were to push me for a winner, Trevor, I would just about go for Spurs on the way that they've played the game. They've scored more goals in the cup run than Manchester United have in the open play. So I think on the basis of that, I think Spurs to win after extra time. But I couldn't honestly give you what the final score might be. But I'm going to go for Spurs after extra time, I think, today.
Well, there you go. If you disagree with that, then please write to Trevor Sports London, W12 PO Box, the Internet. Right, now it's time for a review of the 5th round. The fifth round brought a Wednesday night shootout, with the very first time replays being abolished and all the games being played at the same time. It led to drama, and no more so at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, in which Jose Mourinho's side put on an impressive performance.
He got it away well. The clearance wasn't good. Here's Kane and Underbelly. Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Underbelly! And Tottenham in the first couple of minutes take the lead. And can he keep it in play? That's the question. Oh, yes, he can. That's brilliant play from Son. He's got three to his right. And one of them is Harry. And the ball parades and it's 2-0. This is remarkable. A nice ball forward. Coming towards the closing stages. Now Mora chipping it in there. Solly three. And that's it. Surely that's it now. Spurs make it 3. Son has put them into the quarter-finals, and Everton are finally sunk.
Arsenal's title challenge was sunk at the King Power Stadium as Leicester City grabbed a late winner and had a heck of a party afterwards.
Great run, Tillemans, Jamie Vardy! Goal for Leicester City, and could that be the goal that sends them through?
Manchester United and Newcastle struggled to a 0-0 laboured draw and went to the very first penalty shootout of the fifth round, and it was high drama at Old Trafford.
Say maximum 2 clean knuckle in this, or Manchester United go through. Which fans waiting in anticipation here. It's a maximum steps up. Scores right flattened into the top corner. Fred steps up and scores. Valkyrie never moved. So easy. They get it same place. Manchester United win it on penalties. Aiden to keep knuckle in this. The fans waiting on. And to get saves. Manchester United are through.
The other Manchester club were able to win. City leave it late, but an Aguero wonder strike helped them beat Norwich at Carrow Road to win 2-0. And Liverpool put in an impressive performance, 4-1 winners away to home to Sheffield United, and Fabinho's goal was very much the pick of the bunch. But the great fifth round goals didn't stop there. N'Golo Kante's wonderful curling effort got Chelsea off to a convincing win away to Luton at Kenilworth Road, and none more delighted was their manager Frank Lampard that set up a tantalising quarter-final with Manchester United. Well, we've got you some team news of the two sides. Both they've been submitted to us. So here are the two teams playing today. And we can see that this is the side Jose Mourinho goes with. He's got a backline of Ben Davies, Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen and Sergio Aurier. Hugo Lloris will captain the sides. Ndombele and Eric Dyer are chosen to be the midfield anchors. Dele Alli will be flanked by Lucas Moura and Son Heung-min, and Harry Kane will be the lone striker. Giovanni Lo Celso, Steven Bergwijn, and there's others that have missed out. So that's the Tottenham side that will play today. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made his pick, and he's going for what we expected. Scott McTominay preferred to Fred in midfield, and Bruno Fernandes start. Jesse Lingard had such a good game in the Europa League final. Starts again today. Marcus Rashford, and he's opposed to pay, well, Century's opposed to Anthony Martial. Luke Shaw gets the nod over Brandon Williams, partnering Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and of course Manchester United had David De Gea in goal. Just to note that young Mason Greenwood has been preferred as one of the substitutes, so Ilian Ighalo misses out. Well, time to introduce you to two pundits that will be watching the game with us today. You recognise them both very well. Alongside me is of course Trevor Hansen, former winner of the FA Cup as well, and what else would this be without Cup Final Grandstand than our man Trevor Hill to take us through the game. So, Mr. Hansen, what do you think will be the way in which Tottenham are going to win today's Cup Final? I think the key today for Tottenham is going to be Harry Kane. His lethalness up front. He needs service today, and I guess that's what Dele Alli's been put in the side to free him up in midfield. And if Tottenham are going to win today, it's going to be Harry Kane that will be key to them, and I think Son Heung-min and Lucas Moura will play an important role in the flanks. And Jimmy, what would be your thoughts on this game? How do you think Manchester United could potentially pick up the FA Cup this afternoon? Well, the one thing Manchester United showed us in midweek was when they do play almost as a counter-attacking side, I think that may be their most effective way today. I don't expect them to sit deep and to play on the break, and I think the likes of Rashford and Martial's pace, and don't be surprised if Jesse Lingard gets involved today. I think that's going to be key, but it'll also be on the effectiveness of Bruno Fernandes and how much of the ball Paul Pogba can see. But I would see United sitting deep a lot today. Well, more from the boys later on, but as we go and continue our review of the FA Cup and bring you all the action from a fabulous 6 rounds. The 6th round's taken on a new importance in recent years. With both semi-finals being staged at Wembley's, the stakes were set. There was no replays, the potential of extra time, and Leicester City went ahead and demolished their opponents, Blackburn Rovers. A comfortable performance with Yuri Tielemans on the score sheet again, and their young protege Harvey Barnes and James Maddison getting on the score sheet also. However, Blackburn won't be tonight, and their cup run ended with a rather fabulous, furious finish. Liverpool were in fantastic form, brushing away Watford to win 3-0 and beat last year's finalists. Wonderful performance by them, a quick fire double in the first half, and in the second half capping off a mistake. But once again, a Manchester United cup tie had gone to penalties at Old Trafford, and once again Chelsea had match points. Chance to win the game and send Chelsea through to the semi-finals. It's Kante. Oh, he's missed it! Victor Lindelof now. He's missed 2! Second match point for Chelsea. Andreas Christensen. A second chance. How often do you get them? Oh, he's hit the bar! And now it's McTominay who scores! And now Manchester United have a chance in sudden death. Chelsea captain Cesar Azpilicueta must score to keep Chelsea in it. They nearly won it a kick ago, and they're out with that kick. David De Gea has made the save. Manchester United are through on penalties again. But it was at the City of Manchester Stadium where the finest game of the FA Cup season took place, and we saw the magnificent combat skills of Tottenham.
And De Bruyne is by the penalty spot, and he scored. Kevin De Bruyne. Possible start. This is Fernandinho. Silva into Sterling. Aguero waiting in the middle. Aguero 2-0. As simple a finish as that. And problems for Jose Mourinho already. Can he get the shot in? Blocked. Underbelly again. Son. And a chance here for Kane. It's there. It's there. And the game is alive for Tottenham. Hero might get there. Tottenham certainly did. Mora now. Might have to go the long way round if he wants to. There's the cross. Kane! Yes! It's 2 each. And 3,000 Spurs supporters are absolutely cock-a-hoot with glee. And so too is the England captain. Player from Tottenham Hotspur, who has won the cup in 1991. And here's Danny Rose. Rose with the cross. And Kane on the way! Oh, what a magnificent goal! A hat-trick for Kane! And what a remarkable comeback for Spurs! They were 2-0 down and seemingly dead in this tie. They have come back from the proverbial dead and have made it 3-2, and it's that man again on the volley with the right foot. Harry Kane, bang! 3-2 Tottenham. What a cup tie! What a game!
Fantastic game that was between Spurs and Manchester City. I hope we get something similar today. But now it's time for a quick review into Manchester United. And Mr. Hill, how do you think that they're going to win the game today? Well, I think Manchester United are going to play very much on the counter-attack today, and I shall expect them to play with pace, and I think Marcus Rashford will be vital for them. So I think it is his pace that may exploit the slightly slower defenders of Tottenham of Vertonghen and Alderweireld, and I think that could be an advantage to Manchester United. And I think Rashford is the key here. He's the link-up man. We can see in the Europa League final, it was his ability to see the pass, and also let's not underestimate the pace that Jesse Lingard made when he was involved. If you look at this again, it's his run from deep, it's the pace that he's got here, and Rashford knows he just needs to put it into the area for Lingard to attack, and Tottenham, I think, could find a problem with that today. At the same time, I also think that the way Manchester United can break late will have an important part, and two players they've missed is Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. They only played in the semi-final, and I think Pogba's ability in midfield allows Bruno Fernandes more room to move forward. We can see here when he scored in the semi-final the difference he can make. But I also think today Manchester United will be a threat from set pieces. In particular, they showed in midweek here. You can see this corner in by Paul Pogba and Andreas Pereira. Again, it's that pace, it's that ability to move from deep that makes all the difference, and I think that's going to be vital for Manchester United. I also think Bruno Fernandes gives you another option, and I think from set pieces, particularly direct free kicks, Manchester United will be a threat. I don't think Manchester United have had a striker of a dead ball as good as Bruno Fernandes probably since Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, we've talked about Manchester United's strengths. Do you think there are any weaknesses that Tottenham Hotspur will look to exploit during this game this afternoon? Well, I don't think they're as good a side as Tottenham with the football. I don't think the way in which they pass the ball is effective enough. They prefer to play on the counter-attack. They prefer to sit deep, and we've seen that's brought them a lot of success. But I would be worried about Manchester United if they have to defend. I also think we really have to sort of bearing in mind that they had a really tough outing away. They've been away, they've been to Poland, they have won a trophy, but whether they've got the legs today remains to be seen. Yes, indeed, and you will be able to see what happens very shortly. We're not far away from kick-off today. Players are just going through their warm-ups below. Now it's time to give you our review of the semi-finals and highlights from both of those magnificent games which were held here just 4 weeks ago.
This is Wan-Bissaka to Pogba, now on to Jesse Lingard. Big games these guys will have to have. Martial into Lingard. What's a chance here? It's Jesse Lingard and a goal! Bruno Fernandes has got it. 4 minutes gone, and I said at the start he might be the danger man, and he's proved it there for Manchester United. Wonderful pass and move football that from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men. Lovely ball in. Lingard with a wonderful cross back, and with the left foot in came Bruno Fernandes, the new signing who came in January. And Manchester United, the 12 times cup winners, take the lead against 4 times previous finalists Leicester City. Leicester still in it at 1-0. Manchester United will be kicking themselves if they don't put this one to bed. And here's Matic to Lingard, to Martial, to Fernandes. Poyam says the referee, he'll have to blow up now, surely. So 23 yards out, it's just to the right of centre. Fernandes! Oh, what a goal! Bruno Fernandes could well, with 22 minutes to go, have put Manchester United into the FA Cup final. It's a beautiful free kick. Went up and round and over the wall. Beyond the dive of Kasper Schmeichel, who was left grasping at thin air. Look at that. Into the corner. I don't even think any goalkeeper in the world would have stopped that. Over the 4-man wall. I think it might have gone over Jamie Vardy's head incidentally. But no matter, it's a great goal. 38 minutes gone on. What a lovely ball that is. And Rashford's in behind. Oh, he was tripped, but the referee's playing an advantage. Good refereeing. And he goes down. Penalty, is it? I think it is. Against Soyuncu. Manchester United have got a penalty. And the Turkish international doesn't like the decision, but I think it was a clear trip here. And Bruno Fernandes, who scored the first goal, has a chance to make it 2-0 from the penalty spot. Oh, it's in the post! Chilwell might have a go with it as well. No, it's been left to Ben Chilwell. Oh, he almost produced a sensational goal. Well, he fooled everybody here at Wembley Stadium. We all thought for a moment it was Jamie Vardy. It may have got a deflection. Live here on Grandstand. Remember the second semi-final and match of the day tomorrow. Here's Albrighton and Vardy. Goal! Jamie Vardy! It's his first chance of the day. He's taken it. He hugs his manager, but there's no real time for celebration. Leicester have to get on with it. They need another goal, of course, to stay in the cup, but the substitution has worked. Albrighton playing the ball in, and Vardy, you know, at least 99 times out of 100 he'll get into those positions and stick it in the net, and he's done just that there. And they have won! Manchester United have reached the FA Cup final. The 12 times winners are back in the final. Leicester City are the bridesmaids yet again.
Has to be said, the European Cup final between these two sides last season was an incredibly poor game, but Lloris's kick has found right through to Harry Kane. It's route one at the moment, all the way for Tottenham Hotspur. Harry Kane has hit the post. Oh my word! And the opening goal, Sadio Mane heads in Alexander-Arnold's corner, and Liverpool lead, and we've got an early goal. A goal we need. A goal Liverpool needs. And he was unmarked inside the Tottenham Hotspur area. Has got away from his marker, Jan Vertonghen. The header was glanced in, and Lloris couldn't react to that quick enough. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Mo Salah. Cool, calm, collected passing. It's Ben Davis. Loses it. And 2-0! Ghosting in was Sadio Mane. And does the treble loom on the horizon for Liverpool? They've taken a huge step forward to an FA Cup final date. They've got the league in the bag in an FA Cup and a Champions League semi-final with Manchester City to arise. Mane at the near post on the volley. Lloris, no chance. Dele Alli. Lucas Moura. Ndombele. Harry Winks. Harry Kane. Ndombele scored! Oh, we've got a game on again. Too late, Ndombele has grabbed the ball and is going to put it straight back on the spots. Harry Winks, Harry Kane, Ndombele. Oh, it just rolled past Alisson, who completely misread it. Look at this, look at this. Andy Robertson, this is just where Liverpool want the ball in the last few moments of this match. Dele Alli. And still Dele Alli. Ndombele. Oh, Lucas Moura with the pace and the run, and now Tottenham are bringing people forward. Last few moments of the match, Lucas Moura needs to find a quality cross, and Joe Gomez once again responds with an excellent clearance. Dele Alli, Harry Winks now, inside through. Oh, Harry Kane, he's down! Is that a penalty? Is it on the edge of the area? It's Harry Kane! Oh, wow! He's got a free kick. 5 minutes of time added on, and the game is building to a delightful crescendo for the neutral, but this must be torture for Liverpool. Harry Kane right outside, 19 yards out. Lucas Moura is over it as well. Can Tottenham equalise? They can! 2-2! We've got extra time. What a game we've got here now, and out of nowhere Tottenham are not to be denied. Harry Kane's free kick's gone in. We're all square. It's a great free kick under so much pressure to save this season. Harry Kane has just produced an absolute stunner. And now this is incredible, because it all boils down to this one kick of the football. If Sergio Aurier scores, Tottenham are in the final. Oh, he's hit it straight, and now it's all on Edin Shaqiri. He has to score. Such drama. Shaqiri. He's missed it. Tottenham are in the FA Cup final of 2020. Liverpool's treble dreams are over. Jose Mourinho's Tottenham are in a cup final. Well, not long to go now until kick-off, but it's only fair that we now look at Spurs, and we've asked Mr. Hansen to come up of where you think they can win the cup final today. One man for me today, and that's Harry Kane. I think if Tottenham can give him the service, I think he's the player that could make the difference and could win them the cup final. But it's whether Tottenham can give him that service, but where it also depends as well, can they start well in the game? Because they haven't done that in the last 2 cup final games. But if they do start well, Tottenham will be so lethal with the likes of Son and Lucas Moura being able to provide crosses into Harry Kane. As a proper centre forward, it's what he absolutely thrives on. We can see here the way Lucas Moura is able to run into the space, and Kane instinctively is able to move into the areas. He just has that sixth sense. He knows exactly where to hurt the opposition, and albeit we're showing 2 sort of tap-ins as well, don't underestimate his running ability. We can see him there from the cross. He finds himself a gap, and look at this technique. Watches the ball all the way and hits it perfectly on the laces. It's an excellent effort. But Harry Kane isn't just lethal from inside the 6-yard box as well. He's also a absolutely brilliant set-piece taker. This was in the semi-final. We can see this wonderful free kick as well. Just loops it perfectly over the wall, right into the top corner. He has pretty much got it all, and I think he's going to be the key player for Tottenham, along with his 2 support wingers, Lucas Moura and Son Heung-min. So Trevor, I need to ask them, why is it Tottenham seem to start so badly in games? Why is it they've, albeit they have produced 2 fantastic comebacks as well, what is it that makes them vulnerable, particularly perhaps at the beginning of a match? Its pace is their problem. If you look at their 2 defenders, I know Trevor Hill pointed out earlier on as well, the way in which they like to play, they like to sit deep as well, and that relies the likes of Dyer and Ndombele to do some work ahead of them in looking for that. And I think at times it just takes them a while to sort of find themselves, and when Tottenham push and they start pushing forward and they start taking the game to the opposition, they're a much better side. But I think they do have a tendency under Mourinho to start cautiously. I think maybe that's why they've struggled to start well this season. Right, chaps, what's your predictions for the cup final today? We'll start with yourself, Trevor. Well, I think we're probably going to get a very open and attacking game today, and I think that may just suit Manchester United. Yeah, very true, but as we know so far in this tournament, it is Tottenham that are the comeback kings for this, and can Jose Mourinho win them that illicit trophy? I think fatigue will be a big factor in this. I think that, albeit Manchester United have won a trophy, I think the way Tottenham have played, you can't go with them to win today. I think it all depends on the opening 10 minutes. I think if Manchester United get off to a good start, they might try and sit back, and that may play into Tottenham's hands. So I think maybe just based on the same reasons as Mr. Hansen, I think Tottenham Hotspur will win today. Well, we're now done talking here in this studio, and it's getting ready for crunch time in the cup final, and it's always an afternoon of traditions, a 3 o'clock kickoff. But before we do, it's the usual cup final hymn, Abide With Me, which is about to be sung here by the British Forces Choir, and then the next voice you will hear will be your match commentator for this afternoon's coverage. It's Trevor Motson.
Thanks, Trevor. And as the boys into the studio have alluded to, this is going to be a potentially good cup final. Jose Mourinho against his old side. 735 teams began the competition way back in August, but it's been whittled tantalisingly down to 2. Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United. Harry Maguire leading out United. Hugo Lloris, the French goalkeeper, leading out Tottenham to a raucous reception here at Wembley Stadium. And before the team moves and the game itself, let's all stand for a moment or two in the national anthem. Beautifully sung by all sides of the ground. Great cup final traditions and a 3 o'clock kick-off as well to boot. I have to say credit to Prince William, the chairman of the FA, or the president of the Football Association, and Craig Clark, the FA chairman, for switching it back from 5:30 to 3 o'clock, just as the FA Cup should be on a Saturday afternoon. And of course it's perfect cup final weather. It's beautiful and sunny afternoon. It's very warm, I have to tell you, with my Sunday best suit and tie on. But it's a wonderful occasion nonetheless. Right, I'm sure you're dying to know all the important team moves, so let's give it to you then. First here on Trevor Sports, as we're going to look at the 2 teams. And Spurs have gone with Ndombele in the midfield to partner Eric Dyer, Son Heung-min, Lucas Moura, Dele Alli and Harry Kane the front 3. And Ben Davies gets the nod at left back. Manchester United, let's look at their team very quickly. Lindelof and Maguire will have a real tough job on against Kane. Rashford gets the nod up front. Bruno Fernandes plays in behind. Lingard and Martial are the 2 wingers. McTominay and Pogba, the 2 central midfielders. The referee today comes from the Wirral. That's Mike Dean. So a bit of a Merseyside influence really on this FA Cup final, although neither Everton or Liverpool or Tranmere are involved. In fact, Mike Dean told me before the game that he's a Tranmere Rovers supporter and was here last year for the playoffs, which Tranmere won in League 2. So the FA Cup final, the 139th edition, is underway. Both teams in familiar colours. Spurs in the white shirt attacking the goal to my right. Manchester United in those red shirts with white shorts to the left, and they're attacking the ends where all their supporters are based. And here's Manchester United getting the first clearance away. This is Ben Davies. Big responsibility on his shoulders today, the left back. Moura now to Eric Dyer. What will be expected of him? Ndombele getting the nod. Robert Winks, who's a substitute today. And 1 ball forward to Uriye. Spurs, who haven't won the Cup since 1991, are after a good start here. This is Moura. And a good tackle there by Lindelof. And he just boots it out for the first corner of the game with 3 minutes of the first half gone. Son Heung-min to take. He'll go short, I think, to Ndombele. McTominay's the defender. Still Ndombele, and he gets the cross in there. Kane was lurking. Eric Dyer's there too on the far side. Turns the ball back in there. Ben Davies is there. Maguire comes to meet him. Gets the ball. Although if Davies had gone over, there may have been a half a field for a penalty there for Spurs. But it's hooked forward now by Manchester United up towards Martial. Rashford's making a tremendous run through the middle if Martial can spot him, but decides to draw back. Now Martial again, and Rashford's started his run, and the flag is stayed down. And here he is now, he's away from Alderweireld, and he's scored a magnificent goal! It's Marcus Rashford after 6 minutes of the FA Cup final! He's done it, the local man has done it again for the club. He's supported a young boy, and it's probably achieved a lifetime's dream for himself to score in a cup final at Wembley for his boyhood team. And Manchester United, with 6 minutes almost gone, are in front in the FA Cup final. The team who won on Wednesday night in the Europa League final, which you saw here on Trevor Sports, are in front again looking for a cup double and have made the best possible start. Lloris laments Alderweireld really for not sticking tight enough to Rashford. It's a lovely ball forward, I have to say, from Anthony Martial. Lovely weight on the ball and a great shot there
Lloris beaten before he could even dive to his left-hand side. And what a start for Manchester United, who haven't won the Cup since 2016 when they beat Crystal Palace after extra time. And it's Spurs now who have it all to do with 6 minutes of the first half played. Here's Harry Kane. Lucas Moura. I'll explain in a moment or two about what might happen later on in the game if it does end a draw after 90 minutes. I'll explain all that to you then, because we've got Spurs on the attack. It's Ali, and Kane is there, and Lindelof just boots it out. It'll be another Spurs throw. Right, just to let you know, if it does end a draw after 90 minutes here at Wembley, we will have extra time, and we'll bring you that to you here on Grandstand. If it's level after that, it will be penalties, and again, it'll be live on Grandstand. Oh, and a shot up, and it's off the crossbar and out for a goal kick. It was Lucas Moura who cut him from this near side touchline from the throw-in taken by Aurier. Left foot, and he's hit that tremendously well. De Gea is beaten. There's no doubt about that. And he's saved by the crossbar. We almost had 2 goals inside the first 10 minutes of the FA Cup final. And I have to say, we've been due a good Cup final for the last few years, because the last few years the Cup finals have not really delivered on the standard that they should be doing. But the standard of 2 teams out there at the moment, and at the time of greater need in this country for some uplifting sport, we at Trevor Sports are delighted to bring you this final, and it looks like it could be a real classic. This is Aurier now for Spurs, hits Luke Shaw. Now Maguire. Shaw again. Maguire, the captain of Manchester United. Forced his way into the England reckoning, of course, Maguire as well. Came through the ranks, started his career at Sheffield United, incidentally, Aaron Maguire. Then went to Hull for a spell. Then made his name he made his name at Hull and then Leicester. And of course, Manchester United spent a lot of money on him during the summer, and he's turned out to be a decent acquisition. This is Martial now, the man whose assist has led to the opening goal. Here's Fernandes, hero of the semi-finals, of course. Those 2 goals against Leicester. Could have had a hat-trick, of course. He missed a penalty in that semi-final, you may remember. And Maguire should clean that up now for Manchester United. It's usually Spurs win trophies with the years ending with 1. They won the Cup in 61, 81. At 91, of course, they won it a couple of times in the. They won it twice in a row in the early 80s, 81 and 82 under Keith Birkinshaw, when they had the likes of Oddiras and Hoddle and Ricky Villiers and all that. Really good side. Free kick to Tottenham. Well, at the moment, the hot shot to Tottenham are losing to the glory boys of Manchester United. Mike Dean, the referee, having a word with Fernandes there, saying one more like that, son, and you could well be in my notepad. So look at it again. It was a foul here on Ndombele, and he does take him. Bit of a dodgy challenge that from Fernandes. It's got to be said. Anyway, here's a free kick to Manchester United, to Tottenham Hotspur rather. It's going to be a free kick here. Eric Dyer's going to flip it in towards Lucas Moura, and it's back to Serge Aurier again, who keeps possession really well. Finds Son Heung-min. There's the shot coming in. It'll break to Ndombele on the far side. Ben Davies turning nicely there. Gets the cross in. Ali's waiting in the penalty area. They've only ever lost one FA Cup final in their history, Spurs, and that was when they did finish third in the league in 1987. Coventry the winners 3-2 after extra time. Oh, and it's over the top. Goal kick to Manchester United. Dele Alli. There was the opportunity once again. Ali played a nice ball into Son. Got it back to Ali, and his left foot shot just missing the target. But not with much to spare, I can tell you. There were 4 shots, Spurs. 1 on target, none on target. The one that hit the bar does not, in fact, count as a shot on target. Going back to 1987, they were red-hot favourites against Coventry, and having taken the lead through Clive Allen, scoring his 49th goal of the season, Coventry came back, scored that remarkable diving header from Keith Ouchin, and won the game
with Gary Mabbutt own goal. That's the only ever time they've lost an FA Cup final in memory, Spurs. As the ball comes in there towards Kane, who's yet to win a Millers medal in his 6 years at Tottenham. Broke into the first team around about the 2014-15 season. Has won a couple of losers medals in the League Cup and of course the Champions League last season. So anything is possible. This is Mora now for Tottenham. Kane finished third. United, for the record, finishing 5th, but because of the Europa League victory they had, they are back in the Champions League next season. So too are Spurs, and they'll have another crack potentially at Barcelona. But they took all the way, I remember, you may have seen on Trevor Sports, in 2 cracking legs, which I had the very big honour of covering. Of course, Trevor Davis will have the European Cup final, which involves Manchester City this year. Here's Aurier now for Spurs. Well, halfway through the first half, incidentally, and Aurier keeps the ball down by that near quadrant, but that's going to be De Gea's. Oh, I can't believe he punched out. He was under no great pressure whatsoever. And what it's done, in fact, is put more pressure on that United defence. And here's Morgan again, turns under. Well, in the end, McTominay got back there just in the nick of time. And in fact, he wasn't. It was Bruno Fernandes, I should say, got back in the nick of time. And as well, Manchester United have a potential problem there. Shaw now looking for Rashford, but he loses possession. This is Aurier now for Spurs. We've been much the better side, but trail in this cup final. That 6-minute goal from the local man Marcus Rashford, who's really come to the party here. The ball over the top, and Mora will get there, and he's got there. Mora deflected. It's a corner. Came off Shaw, I think. So a corner kick. Will they go short this time? Ndombele is giving some that option. Spurs fans are hoping now rather than believing here, but remember, in the quarter-finals against another Manchester side, City, they were 2-0 up and in dire straits, and came back to win for a Kane hat-trick. And there's another shot there, but it's Mora, deflected this time, and well held by De Gea. He came back from 2 goals down and won the game 3-2. Kane getting the hat-trick, of course. In the game I had a real privilege of covering down at the Etihad, up at the Etihad Stadium, and then Trevor Davis had the great honour of the semi-final where Spurs again looked dead and buried against Liverpool, and it looked even monies at one stage that it was going to be a Manchester United-Liverpool final, as the ball comes in there towards Martial, and it's knocked away once again. It looked for even money that it was going to be a Liverpool Manchester United final a la 1996, but then Harry Kane and Cole pulled themselves out of it and won it in extra time in a really remarkable semi-final there. And of course, I covered the United winning at Leicester, and that was actually a great ripping finish in the end, but Fernandes really stole the show, and the ball in there towards Kane. As Spurs attacked then from the far side, it was a good cross. In fact, there was a defender that got there first, and it's a corner kick. Son Heung-min to take it. Shot to Ndombele. Does really well. Gets the crossing. Kane was there, and it's, well, somehow it was hooked away there by Manchester United, and almost an equalising goal with half an hour just over gone. This is Dele Alli. Still Alli. Mora now with the shot, and a good save. A tremendous save there, and a corner. Tremendous goalkeeping there from David De Gea to keep Manchester United in the lead. First shot, I think that's one of the first shots that Spurs have had on target during the whole game, but they've been well on top of this game. They just need an equaliser to show how dominant they've been. Kane is there. Good footing there by, I think it was Harry Maguire, I think, got him back there. Here's Pogba now. Rashford's up ahead of him. And that was poor from Paul Pogba's standard. £89 million worth of player. Should be playing better through balls than that. As we come over to the final 10 minutes of the first half here at Wembley Stadium. The 2020 FA Cup Final, the 139th FA Cup Final, which will celebrate its 140th anniversary next season. And again, we'll be bringing that competition in full, live here, only on Trevor Sports. Live and uninterrupted, no ad breaks, no nothing. Here's Lucas Moura, last 10 minutes of the first half.
Remember, we have the European Cup final next week. And here's Martial now. Trevor Davis will be there. The maestro commentating on that one. This is Shaw. Final 10 minutes. We're inside the last 9 of them now. Tottenham Hotspur throw. My word, I don't think we've seen a cup final like this, as good a cup final as this, for many a long year. Certainly very open. Probably since the first time since 2014 we've seen a real open attacking feel to a cup final, and it's been good for the game. And a good ball in there, but it's turned away once more. Ben Davis making 1 or 2 good canters forward down that far side channel, and here's Rashford now down the other end from Manchester United. Lingard to Rashford, linking up on the far side well, and Fernandes is in there, and almost got a touch there, and Lloris was there, and almost, just almost, a second for United, and it would have been on the breakaway. Here's Son Heung-min. What a great final this is turning out to be. Ben Davis, Son Heung-min, on Ndombele, still going, but runs into traffic, and now Martial to break now for Manchester United, but there's a foul. Oh, on Ndombele, I think. Bruno Fernandes, what is it? I don't know who was the guilty party here. Let's have a look. It's Bruno Fernandes again. These two have clashed a little bit in that first half, haven't they? No, Medina's giving him the benefit of doubt. No yellow card. But plenty of optimism here as regards Tottenham from the free kick. Harry Kane will strike it, and it's a good one. Oh, he's in the crossbar. Well, that's twice now Spurs have hit the bar. More early on in the first half, and now Kane from the free kick. Very pointing in there. Kane with a header, and Lindelof has time to spare and hook it out with 3 minutes of the first half to go. And how unlucky can you get? That's twice now Spurs have hit the frame of the goal. They've hit the crossbar twice, and you just wonder, is it Manchester United's name on the FA Cup? Remember, they needed a lot of luck against Newcastle in the 5th round, and a lot of luck against Chelsea in the 6th. They played really well in the semi-final, but they've used up a lot of luck. Remember, for 2 rounds they didn't score any goals in open play against either Newcastle. And here's a chance now. Oh, Fernandes goes down. That's a foul against Vertonghen, I think. Mike Dean's on the spot again. Although he must have been something like 30 yards away from the incident, but he must have had eagle eyes. The official from the Wirral. There it is. I think that's a dead cert, actually. I think he's got that one right. No yellow card issued. No, Fernandes is over this one. So too is Pogba, but I fancy Fernandes. He scored a free kick from a similar position in the semi-final. Can he do it again? Right foot. Oh, he's done it again! As he was in the semi-final, he's done it again in the final. And it's 2-0 to Manchester United. And if Spurs, as they come back and win the cup, they have to do what they did against Liverpool in the semi-finals. And Manchester City in the 6th round. They need to come back from the dead. They've been the better side, but find themselves amazingly 2 goals down. 2 goals to United against the run of the play. But Spurs have had chances and just haven't took them. Plenty from Messrs Hill, Hansen and Lynam to talk about at the break here, live on Trevor Sports. We're inside 2 added minutes. Free kick, I think, against Kane to Manchester United. Here's the challenge again. It was on Lindelof. Well, a certain Jimmy Greaves used to say football's a funny old game. Well, he's not wrong there, the former Spurs player, because Spurs have been the dominant force in this first half, but yet find themselves 2 goals down thanks to 2 magnificent pieces of finishing from first Marcus Rashford on 6 minutes, and now, of course, Fernandes repeating the trick in the semi-final, as he did in the semi-final with that super free kick. Here's Son Heung-min now for Spurs. This will be the last attack, I think, of the first half. Spurs, remember, twice have hit the crossbar, headed away by Maguire, and half-time it is, and Spurs are 2-0 down. They hit the bar twice, but it's goals from Rashford after 6 and Fernandes after 45 that put Manchester United 2 up at the break. Back to Trevor.
Well, half-time here in the FA Cup final, and Manchester United are 2-0 up, and how might be the question on everybody's lips. Trevor Hansen, why are Manchester United 1-0 up? top quality football at the highest level, you have to take your chances. And ever since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has taken over Manchester United, that's what they've got into today, and it showed in the opening minutes really in the game. And what undoes Tottenham here is their really high press, and we saw Manchester United exploit this before. Anthony Martial plays that ball over to the top. Rashford is able to exploit the place of the defender, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot to do there with the finish. He takes a really good touch. If you notice this, the touch from this pass, that's Martial, that's Vertonghen out the game. He's able to bring it down very coolly in the finish. And very much so for Bruno Fernandes's free kick, just perfect technique. And really, if you look at the half, that's probably Manchester United's best efforts, and it's a fabulous goal. Well, Trevor Hill, I guess the question that everyone's asking you is how on earth, with all the chances, are Tottenham potentially staring down the barrel of an FA Cup defeat? Well, I think, dare I say it, Manchester United look sharper, and maybe that game in midweek may have helped them. At the moment, they're not showing signs of fatigue, but that may change as the game goes on. But to be honest, Tottenham seem to have snapped at the chances in which they've had in this match. And Lucas Moura very nearly got Tottenham back in it very quickly, but if we have a look here, it's a really good run by himself, and to be honest, Luke Shaw should have done better, but he knows that that's not Lucas Moura's favoured foot. He prefers to be on his right, and a bit he connects with it. He's leaning back, and that's why it collides against the bar. Lucas Moura did have another chance, 33rd minute of the match, but it's outside the area. It's a long way out. It's still a very good save by David De Gea, but I'm sure Manchester United will be comfortable shots coming from there. This by Harry Kane was an excellent free kick. He's got it over the wall, he's got it down, but just so unlucky. Well, you can make excuses, but to be honest, Tottenham should be ahead, if not level, in the game thus far. I really think they're underperforming thus far in the Cup Final. Yeah, maybe so, but let's not forget though that there's a long game to go, and Manchester United might tire as this game goes on. Let's not forget that. Well, thank you very much, chaps. More to come from them later, and more of the match to come. It's the first 45 minutes. We're not far away from kickoff in the second half, but before we do, we just want to remind you of something we've got coming up very soon, which you might enjoy. It's a canvas ready for a masterpiece. Manchester City versus Barcelona in the European Cup Final, live this Saturday on Trevor Sports. And we'll see you there, won't we? The European Cup Final is 7 days away. Right now, though, is the second half of this season's FA Cup Final. Back to Trevor.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium. Thanks, Trevor. Welcome back to Wembley, as I say. Manchester United are 45 minutes away from winning their first FA Cup since 2016, when they beat Crystal Palace in the robotic Alan Pardew in the final. Who can ever forget that dance? Anyway, both teams have restarted. Mike Dean has restarted again. United kicking off, and they're attacking the end to our right now. Here's Rashford. The third goal would show him in curtains for Spurs, who were the dominant force in the first half. But remember, we said this against Manchester City live on Grandstand in the quarterfinals, and they came back from the dead and won it. So you never know what might come. McTominay now for Manchester United, chipping it out there towards Luke Shaw. United have scored twice on the breakaway from sucker punches, although the free kick was a magnificent goal. A piece of real pure genius. Martial to Lingard. To Fernandes. Fernandes! Oh, he should have scored. And that would have absolutely sealed it for Manchester United, even at this early stage of the second half. Here he is again. Right foot. Lloris is beaten a mile. And he beats the right-hand post. And Manchester United, within a whisker, really, of going 3 goals clear. And Spurs, I'm sure, if that had gone in, even by their standards and the way they've had to battle back in the Cup this season, certainly in the last 2 rounds, it would have needed the most monumental comeback of all time. Here's Ben Davies. They're still 2-0 down, so they've still got a chance to rectify things. He made some good runs down that left-hand side in the first half, like Ben Davies. They haven't played badly either, Spurs. In all fairness to them, undone belly. Davis. Spurs need to get the next goal. Good tackle, I thought. And McTominay to bring it away from Manchester United. 5 minutes of the second half gone. And the more each second ticks by, it decreases the opportunity, the likelihood of Spurs winning the Cup. But they have to play with some dignity now as Kane gets the shot in. They have to play with spirit. They have to play with dignity. And they have to play as if their lives depend on it now. 2-0 down. 3rd in the league, but the Spurs fans have been craving a trophy. They haven't won one since 2008 when Jonathan Woodgate scored the winning goal in the League Cup final. That's how long it's been for Spurs. And Ben Davies has fouled his man. That could be a yellow card here, and it's going to be the first one of the contest. Mike Dean has done pretty well to keep his cards in his pocket for 53 minutes of this occasion this afternoon. He's decided that this time that this challenge from Jesse Lingard was one bad challenge too many, and decides that Ben Davies, the former Swansea man, will get a yellow card for that. And a free kick to Manchester United. The climax of the domestic football season here, live on Trevor Sports. I should also remind you, if it's level after 90 minutes, Trevor Lynam hasn't told you already, I'll tell you now anyway. If it's level after 90 minutes, if Spurs by some miracle get back into this, by the way, although the way they've been playing, you wouldn't back it against them, let's be fair. If it does end a draw after 90 minutes, we will have extra time, and if it does end a draw after the half an hour's extra time, of course 15 minutes either way, then we will have a penalty shootout. But anything like that, we'll tell you all about it if and when we do reach it. And of course you'll see it all here on Grandstand, and we will extend Grandstand, and we'll tell you many programme changes amongst the Trevor Network here on CBC One. If there's any programme changes, we'll announce it here during the match. Here's Sergio Aurier now to Lucas Moura. Spurs now are 2 goals down here, live here on Cup Final Grandstand here. Live only on Trevor Sports. No other channel's got the rights for this final. Ball chip forward towards Kane, and Kane might get there, but so too will release. This game, of course, being shown live and uninterrupted. No ad breaks. Not like that. I hope you didn't go for a cup of tea whilst the boys in the studio were on, by the way. Here's Rashford. And Rashford gets the shot off. It's Davis away for Spurs. And now they need a goal here. How they could do with a goal now with half an hour to go. We've played an hour of the final. Still 2-0 to United. Half an hour for Spurs to try and get themselves back in there. Here's Kane. And Sonny's making a great break in the middle. But it couldn't be found, and Shaw was there, the former Southampton man. And he hooks it out for a throw-in. Spurs now turning up the power again. Look at that. They're having more possession than Manchester United. 62% to 38%. That's how dominant Spurs have been in the game, but they're still 2-0 down. Oh, and it's Ali, good save! And that was a big opportunity there for Spurs. Will they get more chances like that, I wonder, throughout the next half an hour? Remains to be seen. Here's Rashford now, pitching the ball away, and he gets away from his man, and Lingard's in a lot of space here. Jesse Lingard down low near side, and he gets the ball forward, and Spurs in the end, there was no foul there. I think Lingard was trying to claim a foul, but Mike Dean said no, carry on with the game. And I have to give credit to Mike Dean, the referee. He's kept the game flowing at every conceivable opportunity, which has helped make this a great final. Here's Lingard, and that should be Lloris as it is. We've got just over 25 minutes of this final to go. And still, Manchester United 2 goals up. Spurs need 2 goals in that remaining time, plus injury time, to force extra time. 3 to win the cup outright after 90 minutes. And here's a chance there again to flick it on.
Ndombele now chips it out towards Aurier. Nice and flat. Here's Mora now, and a shot comes in, and he was over the top, and it was Alderweireld of all people that went forward. The central defender. He'd gone forward here. His first shot was blocked here, as you can see, by Maguire, and then he got the second opportunity, and as it happens, as he struck the second shot, he was quite off balance, and it came away. So Davinson Sanchez will come on, and Brandon Williams will replace Luke Shaw at left back for Manchester United. A bit of a responsibility for the young guy who's broken into the side under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer again. Obviously relying on that youth. Obviously that Manchester United always thrived under the great Sir Alex Ferguson, of course. Jose Mourinho's side, 2-0 down against his former club. Oh, now a chance here for Son. He's got through. Mistake by the defender, Son. Oh, he's hit the post. Would you believe it? That's 3 times they've hit the woodwork. And Spurs, I can't believe so much hard luck they've had. It's a corner kick. And they've hit the ball twice in the first half. They've hit the post again. And you just wonder, is it going to be Spurs' day? Is the name of Manchester United going to be written on the FA Cup? On the playing for the FA Cup? You just wonder, don't you? They're running out of time here, Spurs. They've got 21 minutes plus stoppage time of the final to go. They need 2 goals to even force an extra half an hour. Son Heung-min, he's going long this time. Kane is there as well. Kane lurking. But Manchester United again, stout in defence. They are using up a lot of luck here, United. They're living a charmed life. Will it be a question of time before Spurs score? Ali now to Davis. Dyer. It's all Spurs at the moment. It's been exclusively played in the Man United half. It's a corner kick to Tottenham Hotspur. 20 minutes to go. Spurs really need to score. Ryan Sessegnon now on for Ben Davis. Mourinho playing his cards. Son Heung-min. Here's Sessegnon. First touch. Good goal in. Oh, good ball in, I should say. And then, well, they all went for it and no one got there. It's a Manchester United throw. Well, it's been that sort of a day for Spurs. They've created so much of the play and the chances have really come their way. But Manchester United have defended well and have needed a bit of luck with the woodwork being hit on 3 occasions by Spurs. United have scored 2 cracking goals on the counter-attack. Here comes the ball in there, and that should be De Gea's. It is 18 to go, and Manchester United are just less than 17 minutes away from the FA Cup, and they are almost there, but not quite. Here's Alderweireld, who stayed forward. Oh, a chance here for Son. He's on here, Son. Oh, he's in the post again. That's 4 times. 4 times that Spurs have hit the woodwork. As Lo Celso replaces Ndombele. They hit the bar twice in the first half. Now they've hit the post twice in the second half. How unlucky is that? And meanwhile the ball comes in there. Oh no, must an own goal. Kicked off the line. Oh, Brandon Williams got back right on the goal line there. I think Maguire was heading it backwards at the point, and the free kick has been given against Spurs. Offside, there was 3 of them off as the ball was played. Well spotted by the linesman on the far side. Good grief. Nothing is going Spurs' way at all. They've done all of the 95% of the attacking, but yet still find themselves 2 goals down in this FA Cup final. Sometimes games of football just work out that way, and as each minute increasingly goes by, the more you're thinking now, is Manchester United's name going on the plane from the FA Cup? But Spurs, if they keep plugging away and attacking for the next 10 minutes, who knows what might happen. This is Williams now. United going for the kill on the counter-attack, but they lose possession. Dyer can't keep it in, but it will be a United throw-in. Eric Bailey replaces Wan-Bissaka, who's had a magnificent game at the heart of that Manchester United defence. Look at the possession. You can tell how dominant Spurs really have been, but at the end of the day, it doesn't look as if it's going to be their day. But you never know in the Cup. Stranger things have happened before. Free kick to Manchester United, I think. Let's have a look at it again. No, it's a foul on. In fact, it's a foul on Eric Dyer there by Anthony Martial. So it's a free kick to Spurs. So it's gone the other way, in fact. 77 minutes, nearly 78 gone. We've got 12 minutes left to play. Spurs needing a miracle. And as each moment ticks by, it's almost as if they need a snooker to stay in this cup final. They need 2 goals in the remaining time, but they're running out of time. They've hit the woodwork 4 times. They hit the crossbar twice in the first half. They've hit the post, the same post, twice in the second half. They've hit the right-hand post twice. Here's Dele Alli to Lucas Moura. Is the look going to come for Spurs at the moment? Lindelof, just about did enough there. Wasn't a lot to spare there, I have to say. Here's Eric Bailly again. What United must not do is get into that complacent mode and give Spurs a way back in. But it's all Spurs at the moment. United still settling on a 2-goal lead. Here's Kane, Moura. They will not stop attacking Spurs, you can be assured of that. Lo Celso, can he make a difference? Lo Celso, shot blocked. Appeals for handball, not given. Oh, it's gone! Dele Alli has scored for Tottenham! And they deserve that really, because they're battering away. And Dele Alli, who struck the post in the second half, has finally got his reward here. He may have been half a shot maybe for a handball, as Lo Celso had the initial shot, but it broke kindly to Ali. Good skills there, and the right foot did the rest. And we've got a match with a vengeance now, with 10 minutes to go. It's 2-1 now to Manchester United. Well, very kindly there, Kane got out of the way, and Ali kept a cool head and finished it off superbly. So 2-1, and still all to play for. 83 minutes, but Spurs need another one. Still Manchester United, as we stand, still got their hands on the FA Cup. Just the grip has been loosened slightly. Here's David De Gea. Another Spurs goal would really make it interesting, but they've got the goal. May have come a little bit too late, maybe. But they had none of the luck before that when they hit the woodwork 4 times, but now Ali has finally gotten themselves a goal. A little bit of justice maybe there. And here's a chance now for Martial to settle it now for United. And here's Fernandes. Oh, he's in the post. And Manchester United's turn to be denied by the woodwork. Barry. And still Barry. Here's Pogba. Oh, what a turning point this could be now. Harry Kane, Vertonghen's the furthest man forward. It couldn't possibly be now a little twist in the tail here. Manchester United so close to restoring their 2-goal lead. But it remains 2-1. And there's 4 minutes to go, and it's a goal kick. Wow. Bruno Fernandes hit the post. We're in for a seesaw finish. 3 minutes to play. Manchester United leading 2-1, but the lead is a precarious one now. Mind you, at 2-0 it was a precarious lead. De Gea boots it long and high and long, and it was flicked on. Now Spurs have possession. Moura. Some tired players out there now. Kane with a shot, and De Gea couldn't hold it, but then held on to it at the second attempt. 90 seconds to go, and Spurs are not giving up the ghost just yet. It's been a seesaw cup final, whatever happens here. Last minute of the game, and still Spurs will not give in. Here's Son Heung-min chipping it forward, looking towards Alderweireld. Couldn't get the touch. We're into stoppage time, for which we'll have 2 added minutes. Martial for United. Pogba. United looking just to run the clock down if they can, within reason. Free kick, I think, has been given. And Rashford wants to take it quickly. I don't know why. Then seconds away from the cup. Here's Martial. And the ball played in now. Rashford! Oh, what a save by Lloris. It's a corner. We're inside the last minute of stoppage time. And Manchester United are nearly there now. This has been a remarkable game of football. And all Manchester United have to do is keep it in the corner, be composed, not do anything daft, and they win the cup. 40 seconds left to play. It's going to be Fernandes to take the corner. It goes short to Martial, who has gone for a cross, and there was the header. And the goal kick, I think, has been given, I think, to Tottenham, I think, has it? No, corner kick. We've almost played the 2 minutes. Might add on a little bit of time at the end here. Here's Moura, or Robert Williams, I should say. Moura tangling with him. Seconds remaining. We've had 30 seconds over the 4 minutes. And what a good ball this is! A real chance now. Can Kane keep his head? Can he? He's chipped it! It's a goal! It's 2-2! And Manchester United have thrown it away! And Spurs, the ones in this crazy game, have got justice because they've been the better team. And Harry Kane has come on chance when it's needed to. He's flicked it over the goalkeeper and it's flicked it in, and we're going to extra time. What a beautiful time run, and Alderweireld should take a lot of praise for the pass through. And what about that for a super cool chip over the goalkeeper? Manchester United were seconds away from the FA Cup. Now we're back level at 2-2. And this has been, I have to say, the best cup final for many, many a year. Wow. He's done it again. He got him out of jail against Liverpool. He got him out of jail against Manchester City in the 6th round. He's done it again in the 4th minute of 2 added. And it's 2-2. What a comeback for Spurs. And we'll have extra time. But for now, it's back to Trevor Lynam.
Well, I can't quite think of a cup final finale quite like that for a long, long time. Harry Kane and Tottenham Hotspur producing the goods, and we're all level at Wembley. We've got 30 more minutes of extra time to bring you, but I've got to go to you, Trevor Hansen. My word, wasn't that something else? There's one thing I can say about football, is that you never, ever, ever give up. And none so is that more apparent than this Tottenham side, where it all seemed against them. You know, they've hit the post 4 times, and it didn't look like it was going to be their day, but that was as good a comeback as I think I've ever seen. You know, there's an old saying that luck is where opportunity and hard work meet, and Tottenham today have made their luck through persistence and have continued going, and I think Manchester United's midweek European trip has shown on them. They just seem to lose their legs in the final 10 minutes of this game. Well, let's go back and look at the game, and it started off, Mr. Hansen, with a fabulous Manchester United start. Well, watch the run of Marcus Rashford here. Starts outside, runs inside of Alderweireld. Still has a lot to do, but that's an excellent finish. But it's all down to top quality running. The defending, you know, suspects, but look at this. It's the instant pass from Manchester United. It's their pace which they've exploited in the Spurs defence, and Marcus Rashford with an excellent finish. And to be honest, Tottenham would have learnt their lesson, because Bruno Fernandes is an excellent dead ball specialist, and giving away a free kick from there is, in his form, is almost as good as giving a goal away. And then Tottenham started to put the pressure on. So, Trevor, talk us through the chances that they had in the second half. Well, Tottenham started to get themselves back into the game by allowing Dele Alli freedom into the play, and they had to sacrifice Ndombele and Eric Dyer, but Dele Alli started to run the show. He was unlucky with his header. Perhaps the goalkeeper could have done better, but they continued to make chances. They continued to make efforts on goal, and they were very unlucky, truth be told, as the game wore on. This effort by Son, I honestly don't know how this didn't go in. He was clean through, 1-on-1, goes with his left for some reason, and strikes the woodwork. Real mistake there, always go with your strongest foot. Tottenham continue to make chances again. Again, this is another one for Son. It's Tottenham on the break. It's Dele Alli running the show in the middle. Should score there. Really should score that. But Tottenham do get themselves back into it in the end as well, and in the end it's a really scrappy goal. The shot is deflected and it is Dele Alli that responds the quickest, and that was the catalyst for Tottenham. They sort of felt the way in which they were dominating the game. If they were to score, they would get themselves right back in this. Yes, but let's not forget Manchester United very nearly made it 3-1. Bruno Fernandes was unlucky there. Well, we've got a theme today of being able to take your chances, and Marcus Rashford turns out had the chance to win Manchester United the FA Cup. He's hit it straight at Hugo Lloris, who still makes a good save, still has to get hands to that, but I think that was the key moment in the match. And then look at this, so a fantastic pass by Toby Alderweireld, and this is an outstanding finish under pressure. Harry Kane has got composure, he's got awareness, he lobs the keeper fantastically, and no more than Tottenham deserved. Well, thank you very much, chaps. Extra time, 30 more minutes, and if there's no winner after that, it's that dreaded penalties. Trevor Motson, over to you.
Well, thanks, Trevor. Well, I'll tell you what. This season's FA Cup here on Trevor Sports is drama that really keeps on giving. I never thought we'd be saying this, but it's extra time. And just to remind you of a programme change now here on the Trevor Network, on Trevor 1, that if you were hoping for a snooker fix with Messrs Davidson and Virgo on Big Break this evening, I'm afraid that's been cancelled, and will be shown next Saturday at the same time as it was scheduled to go on. So I've got a programme change there as the shot comes over the top from Fernandes, whose second goal looks as if they were going to win the Cup United this afternoon. So I've got a programme change just to remind you that Big Break now will be shown at a later date with Messrs Virgo and Davidson. If anyone was tuning in for their half-hour snooker game show fix, I'm afraid it's going to be next Saturday now before you see it, because we're sticking to the game here on Grandstand. And after the game, of course, we'll be handing over to the news with Trevor Sissons. But we're still half an hour's extra time to play. And here we go again. Harry Kane. For Davinson Sanchez, 2-2 it remains. We're staying with Grandstand for the duration of this Cup final. Extra time, penalties, whatever it needs. Here's Maurice off his line, knocks it away. 3 minutes gone in the extra time. Just to remind you of the rules, 15 minutes each way, and if it's level after the 15-minute periods of half an hour in total, then it won't be a penalty shootout if we can't find a winner. Here's Paul Pogba now for Manchester United. Remember, Big Break has been cancelled this week here on the Trevor Network. Will be shown at a later date, next Saturday, more, I presume. Anyway, here's Martial into Lingard, and Brandon Williams is there on this near side. Gets the crossing well, and a good header away. It'll be a corner. Manchester United looking to respond a little bit now after that last second heartbreak, but you have to say justice was absolutely done there for Tottenham. They've been the better side as the ball comes in there. Pogba was lurking. It'll come here for Brandon Williams. And Martial on the turn. Williams again. Pogba's there. McTominay's there. Scott McTominay will try and have a shot, but it's well repelled again by Spurs. Alderweireld is still staying forward. Even at 2-2, he's still going forward. That's the boldness of Spurs there. Relying on Vertonghen at the back there to mop up any danger that comes his way from Manchester United. And Alderweireld's knocked that back out, and the cross comes in, and it's Kane lurking. It's come to Lucas Moura. Spurs are going for the guns here. And Manchester United don't know what's hit them. 8 minutes of extra time gone. It's still 2-2. And, well, I'll need to lie down after this final, quite frankly. Here's Lo Celso. If you enjoyed it at home, then you've enjoyed it. And I suppose at a time when the nation needs a boost, and I think we've just given the nation a real boost and a shot in the arm that it needed with one of the most dramatic cup finals I think I've seen for quite some time. We've played 10 minutes of the extra time. We've got 5 minutes of the first half of it to go. Then they'll swap round and then restart. Here's Rashford. Martial's cross is a good one. Oh, and just wide. It was Fernandes in there. And he headed it just wide of the left-hand post.
Good football this for Manchester United, the best they've played for quite some time. Martial's cross, there's Fernandes. It was just wide of that left-hand post, as I was saying. And a big opportunity wasted there for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men. Mourinho's men still in this final. 2-2. They hit the post 4 times before that. United, of course, hit the post at 2-1. And that proved in the end to be a turning point, although my team did on 2 added minutes because there was a bit of time wasted by Manchester United. But having said that, they should have defended that equaliser better. Here's Moura now getting it away for Spurs, but he's lost it now. Martial, Fernandes. United have won it once, they've got to go and win it again. Here's Martial chipping it forward, and Fernandes is through, but so too is Lloris. Did really well. 2.5 minutes of the extra 15 minutes of extra time to go. Plus stoppage time, of course. A little chip forward here towards Moura. Can he reach it? No, De Gea will. 90 seconds of the first period of extra time remaining. Manchester United and Spurs are 2-2 And who will win it from here? At the moment, it doesn't look as if anybody looks likely to win the final. Both teams are absolutely shattered out there. Remember, it's 25 degrees Celsius out there on the pitch, which is probably the high 70s in Fahrenheit. There goes the whistle for half-time and extra time. So what they'll do now is swap right around. As we look at the statistics of that tremendous final here at the moment. Look at that. I mean, that is superb. Plenty for the guys at the end of the programme to chew over the fact. Look at all the shots they've had. I mean, we must have had a total of 9 shots on target. 2 goals have been scored, 4 goals each have been scored, 2 goals each have been scored, 4 in all. And the referee gets us underway in this second period of extra time. So both teams now attacking. I've swapped round. Spurs now going towards the left-hand side where they scored their 2 goals in the second half. And Manchester United going to the opposite end to the right. All 4 goals, incidentally, have been scored at the left-hand end of the ground. And there you are. There's a little statistic for you. Manchester United chasing their first FA Cup in 4 seasons. Spurs looking for their first since Paul Gascoigne and Gary Lineker & Co won it in 1991. And offside there. Free kick to Tottenham Hotspur. Just offside as that ball was played. Jesse Lingard is going to be replaced by the Spanish international, a man of all seasons there, Juan Mata. 7 years has been at Old Trafford. It was at Chelsea before that, of course. As the ball ready forward again. Former charge of Jose Mourinho, of course, in his time at Old Trafford. He's put one on his former boss here, but it's Mourinho's side in complete control. Here's Kane! He's scored! Harry Kane has won it! Oh, could well be winning it for Tottenham! They're 3-2 up! They were 2-0 down and seemingly out of it with 83 minutes in his final gun. But he's just scored again, and Jose Mourinho's side are just 11 minutes away from their name being etched on the plane for the FA Cup. He's done it again, Harry Kane, the man for the occasion. And is he about to get that long overdue winner's medal? He got a hat-trick in the quarter-finals against Manchester City when they seemed to be down and out. He got the winning goal in the semi-final against Liverpool again when Spurs seemed to be down and out. And he's just got to score a brace against Manchester United. When it looked as if after 84 minutes they seemed down and out. But they've come back from the dead and lead by 3 goals to 2. And now if he scores again, he'll become the first player. That's if he scores, of course. He'll become the first player to score a hat-trick in the FA Cup final since 1953 when Stan Mortensen did it for Blackpool in what became known as the Matthews final. It should have been the Mortensen final, really, but it was famed more for the Stanley Matthews winning a long overdue winner's medal. And at the moment, we could have the Harry Kane final because he's got 2 goals and he's on course for a winner's medal. He's had 2 losers' medals in the League Cup and in the European Cup last season.
now he could be, and he's like it, he's going for that hat-trick now. He's just about working around there. 8 minutes now, and Manchester United, who scored 2 goals brilliantly on the counter-attack, have paid the price for not sitting on their 2-goal lead and letting Spurs back in, but they've been the better side, Spurs. And here's Kane looking at a hat-trick, and he almost got it, and he almost became the first man, as I said, since Stan Mortensen way back in 1953 for Blackpool against Bolton Wanderers to score a hat-trick in the FA Cup final. Oh, dear me, that would have been some achievement. He's broken so many records in a Tottenham shirt. That would have been another feather in his cap, and he would have joined a very exclusive club. Sam Mortensen, in fact, the only man ever to score a hat-trick in the FA Cup final in its 139-year history. Here's Lloris now with the kick. Spurs on course, 5 minutes away now, just less than that from their first FA Cup since 1991. They've had to wait nearly 29 years for this moment in this competition. Their first trophy since 2008. Beckett's here, 12 years they've had to endure with the trophies going elsewhere. Are Spurs about to get their aim on one? Here's a chance there. Oh, it's just wide. One matter. Firing it just wide. Martial again. The man involved. The ball played in. There it was. And Mata just shooting wide. In fact, it was Bruno Fernandes who shot wide. Sorry. Couldn't tell from up here. We're very high up in the stadium, but it was Bruno Fernandes rather who shot over the top. But 3 minutes to go, and Tottenham are nearly there now, and they seem to be dead and buried after 82 minutes. The fresh legs hit it. Brian Sessio's made a difference, and he goes for another crossing at Kane, looking for that hat trick, and he almost got there. 90 seconds to play. Manchester United are nearly there. The news will follow the football here at Wembley today. Big break. If you were going to watch that with Mrs. Virgo and Davidson, that's been cancelled until next Saturday afternoon. Ball in there towards Kane, or next Saturday tea time, I should say. Here at Wembley, we're now in the last half a minute. Manchester United need to get the ball forward, but they're not showing any urgency. Spurs are nearly there now, and they're there now. The whistle knows what it might be. And Tottenham Hotspur, for the first time since way back in 1991, win the FA Cup, and they had to do it yet again the hard way. It looks as if it was United's name on the trophy. Rashford and Fernandes scoring twice, but then. And Spurs, of course, before the 83rd minute had hit the woodwork 4 times, post twice and the bar twice. Then Ali came back with a super goal. Kane equalised with a superb lob, and then scored a magnificent goal in the second half of extra time. And Spurs win the FA Cup. There's the white ribbons on the FA Cup. And what a way to do it. They came back from the dead against City in the quarter-finals, you may remember. They did the same after extra time in the semis against Liverpool. And Hugo Lloris, a proud captain, will lift Spurs' first trophy in 12 years since the League Cup final. It's hot shot Tottenham who win the FA Cup. It's glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur. What a final. And these Spurs players will drink it in, their first FA Cup success since 1991, and it's been worth the wait. 29 years in the waiting, and Hugo Lloris goes over to the far side of Wembley and shows off that famous old cup. Spurs have done it now, and the first time since 1991 they win the FA Cup. What a game for Messrs Lynam, Hill and Hansen to chew over now as they finish the programme here on Grandstand. I hope you've enjoyed this final. I'm going to hand you back to the three amigos in the studio, Messrs Lynam, Hansen and Hill. And a final score here, the Spurs absolutely pose for photos. That's going to be in your morning papers tomorrow. It's Tottenham Hotspur 3, Manchester United 2. As I said, they came back to 2-0 down, and Spurs will milk the moment, as I say, for all it's worth. They just never go away They're back in the Champions League next season. They are back amongst the trophies again. What a game here on Grandstand. I hope you very much enjoyed it anyway, as Lloris proudly holds up the cup. He's finished 3-2 after extra time, and it's back to the boys, Hill, Hansen and Lynam in the studio.
Well, many congratulations to Tottenham Hotspur, the winners of the FA Cup. And I don't think we have ever seen a final quite like that before. Trevor, how do you sum that up? Simply amazing. It's that will-to-will, the determination, the sort of the drive, the passion, the belief that you are going to be victorious. It is phenomenal, and all the credit in the world has to go to both sides. This was a magnificent cup final. I think personally the best I've seen for a long time. But all the credit in the world to the way Jose Mourinho has organised Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. Well, it's no doubt he's done a magnificent job. Absolutely done a phenomenal. Trevor, talk us through Tottenham's winning goal, because I think it just highlights the way in which Jose Mourinho's side perhaps adapted better to the game. Well, I think Mourinho realised that Manchester United were a tiring side, and the key to this was Eric Dyer winning the ball. And let's not forget, he put Toby Alderweireld to act as a centre half, to pretty much almost be a sort of a good old-fashioned target man, and he makes a difference. And it's Lucas Moura's casual little pass as sets came through, and from this position Kane just right foot and power, and that's what it takes to, and that's what it's taken for Tottenham to win the FA Cup. So Trevor, how did Manchester United lose this from such a promising position heading into half time? They were 2-0 up. I think maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as good as an improvement he's made to this squad, I don't think they quite had the substitutes to impact the game, and really I feel for them, they needed to win this in 90 minutes. They needed to hang on. Questions to be asked whether that goal should have stood. It came into a minute in time added on, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? No, I think the referee is absolutely spot on there. You have to allow for the play to continue. You can't sit there and blow the whistle when the ball's 3 yards from goal, for example. So yeah, I think the referee was completely right to do that. Trevor, your verdict on the cup final? Best one of modern times? Absolutely. Phenomenal game, and the fact that it was settled in extra time, we didn't need penalties, for me made it all the more special. And yourself, Trevor, best of modern, or even the best of all time? Well, I still think the Matthews Cup final and Stan Mortensen hat-trick was a better match, but for what we've seen at modern times, maybe Liverpool West Ham comes close to it, but this was excellent. Well, there you go. Thank you to Trevor Hansen and Trevor Hill for joining us for Cup Final Grandstand. We have seen perhaps one of the great cup finals of all time, and I don't know if we'll ever beat this again. One way to find out, though, is to tune in to Trevor Sports and subscribe. Hit those notifications to get updated on what's happening next. Next time you'll see us, we will be getting ready to host the Champions League final from Istanbul. So we'll see you there for that. But from all of us watching, from myself, Trevor and Trevor, thank you very much for watching, and we'll leave you the moment where Tottenham reclaim the FA Cup for the first time in 29 years. And Jose Mourinho's a bit special, isn't he? Good evening.
Mourinho side, it comes with control. Here's Kane! He scored! Harry Kane